Yeah.
Hey, and welcome to another episode of Late Night with Take 3. Got a very fun one today. We're going to be talking Tom Cruise, and I've got a great panel assembled. Um, I've got the usual Matt Kearns here. Matt, how's it going?
Malcolm went live before I could get the tweet out, so I'm not exactly prepared for this, but I'm very excited. Tom Cruise is one of my favorite actors of all time, so I always look forward to when I can talk about him. If you want to hear me talk more about him, check out Rhyme and Reason episode on Tom Cruise, which is on this channel. Remember when that was a show?
Thought we were doing the plugs at the end. All right, we're done. Good job, guys.
But also here we got Ryan Permison. Ryan, how's it going?
It's going well, sir. Thank you for having me on Tom Cruise Appreciation Night. I really appreciate it. You know, I talked to my people. They're like, Ryan, you got to put on the right suit for tonight's festivities. And I'm like, yep, got to put this bad boy on, baby. Got to put it on. So I'm ready to go, man. Let's talk about this Tom Cruise and maybe a few other pieces of information about the movie universe that have come out recently. Let's have some fun.
And last but not least, we got Billy. Billy, how's it going?
It's always great to be here as the official when you can't find a guest at the last minute, call Billy, and it's multiple channels. It's not just Take 3. You know, I'm the go-to guy with break glass in case of emergency. But in this case, we're talking TC Legend, as he's known in some dark corners of the internet, action industries, and Tom Cruise. Let's get into it. I love me some Cruise, man. Cruising on Cruise.
Oh, Cruising on Cruise. That's one of the shows that's going to be on Cruise Universe Plus, which is the Tom Cruise streaming service that I'm trying to pitch to him. Other shows that we have are Tom Cruise Goes Shopping.
Oh,
that's it.
That's all we got.
But yeah,
did I cut out?
Yeah, last week we heard was Tom Cruise Goes Shopping.
Okay, because the other show is Ethan Vision, which is Ethan Hunt. When he's on a mission, he gets put into a coma, and he wakes up as actor Tom Cruise.
It's very good.
Just saying, Tom, have your people call my people. I've tweeted this to you before. I'll tweet it again until we get this happening.
But yeah, before we get into Tom Cruise, we do have a few news stuff and stuff to talk about as well. And Matt's ran away. But the first thing is, like, last week we talked about Jerry Stiller's death, but while we were alive, the news broke about a few other deaths as well. But so, unfortunately, we did lose the actor Fred Willard, and we also lost, I think she's a director, I don't know too much about this one, Lynn Shelton. But Ryan, what are some of your memories of Fred Willard or Lynn Shelton?
Yeah, Fred Willard, I've caught a few of his appearances, whether they be on a TV series or a movie, and you know, whatever he did a good job with it. Whatever character he was playing, he did a good job with it. I don't know too much about him. I haven't seen all of his work, but of the work I have seen, he was a good actor. And it's another tragic loss that we've had this week and the last several weeks. So it's been tough. And the other name that you mentioned, I'm not really sure who that is, so I can't really comment or speculate.
Yeah. But Billy, what are your feelings towards Fred Willard or Lynn Shelton?
I'm a huge fan of Fred Willard. Fred Willard is an amazing comedic actor. He was in a lot of the Christopher Guest movies as kind of like the he was always kind of like the straight man who was like in on the joke by not being in on the joke. So he's very funny. Like, it's interesting. Like, that's pretty much where I really know him from, is from like kind of like how Ryan said, like, there's a lot of TV stuff and here and there in movies, but the Christopher Guest stuff is where he kind of had major roles in those, and they were always really, if you like that sort of humor, he was perfect for it, and he was amazing. So
Yeah. And Matt, what are your feelings about the deaths of Fred Willard and or Lynn Shelton?
Lynn Shelton, the name doesn't ring any bells. I could just be stupid. Fred Willard, however, yeah, he was on. He played Robert's wife's father on Everybody Loves Raymond, which is one of my favorite shows. Watch that all the time. I always thought he was hilarious on that show because the whole thing about them were like they were these hoity-toity people who thought they were better than the Barones, but like every episode you kind of got that like they're more screwed up than they let on, and it was just always funny seeing him like trying to maintain this like superiority to Frank or something, only to just get the legs cut out from under him. And then he was also on Modern Family. He played Phil's dad, and he was great on there. He was just like, and on that show he was so like nice and sweet, and like it was always, you were always laughing along with him on both cases. Of course, Everybody Loves Raymond, it was fine to laugh at his misfortune, but on Modern Family you were laughing with him. Yeah, it's just man, that's with him and Jerry Stiller, that's a 1-2 punch for me of just like sweet funny guys. But like what I said with Jerry Stiller last week, I think Fred Willard's definitely, you know, just between Modern Family and Everybody Loves Raymond, you know, right there, he's kind of got a legacy that I'm sure generations will still know him. Even if they can't name him, they'll still be laughing with him and enjoying his comedy.
Yeah. And yeah, this is this is one that like Fred Willard is one of those ones that that does hit me because I do remember him a lot from his roles as Ed and Anchorman, and one of the parents in Meet the Fockers. But like
the Fockers?
I'm confusing him with Dustin Hoffman.
I was gonna say he's
I know he had a brief cameo in one of the Austin Powers. I know that for sure.
Oh, obviously Austin Powers. That's Malcolm's go-to series right there.
Was he Debbie's dad in Meet the Parents? Why am I thinking that was like the girl who gets spiked in the face?
No, that's De Niro. That's his daughter.
Oh, that is his daughter. That's right.
That's Pam's sister.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. The other guy, the other dad, who's Bob's dad, is Independence Day, the CIA operative. That's Bob's dad. So he's Fred.
Right.
Is not in those films, as far as I know. I haven't watched Little
I don't think
Fockers
so.
in a while. But if he was in Little Fockers, let's just on behalf of him just forget that he was in Little Fockers.
Yeah, that movie never happened. So
it's interesting that we lost.
It was great.
It's interesting that we lost Fred Willard and
what was he in?
He was Michelle's dad in American Wedding, the third American Pie movie.
Yes, that's what you're thinking of. Yeah.
Okay.
I was thinking about that movie today, man. American Wedding doesn't get the credit it deserves. That's a great movie, I gotta say. That's a funny movie.
Yeah.
But it's interesting we lost
Jerry Stiller
and Fred Willard because they're both comedic actors and they're both very much like they kind of fall into the same space, but by doing completely different things. Because Jerry Stiller was always very like, it was very loud and it was very like fast and it was very that was what made it funny. Whereas Fred Willard was very understated and very like, you know, like I said, it was kind of like the straight man. Like he was like the guy who wanders into some craziness going on and going, what is going on here? Like, you know, and he was like that quintessential dad in comedies.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, both Jerry Stiller and Fred Willard are very similar because they've both been in a lot of movies, but going through their filmographies, there's only very limited things that you would know, like, depending on how old you are. Like, if you're...
Well, that's what happens when you have, like... I mean, these guys have been doing this for ever. And you just, you know, and both of them just got attached to things that just like are so massive that, you know, people aren't going to remember you for the little face. You know, it's kind of like, you know, think about how many things Robert Williams has done in his career, you know, and there's, for a lot of generations, particularly the ones later on, they're only going to really know him for a select amount of things he did, which is great. I think any actor would be blessed to have such a long career and to have things that are going to outlive them.
Exactly. But going on to that, going on to a movie, we did actually have a trailer drop this week, which
Yeah, I didn't watch it.
yeah,
I
for a
probably
movie,
should. You know what? I was coming on here and went, "Fuck, we're going to talk about that trailer." I didn't watch it. So
yeah, but I mean, it's a movie that may or may not come out in July. As far as I know, Christopher Nolan is sticking to that date, so yet to see. But Ryan, have you seen the Tenet trailer? And if so, what did you think of it?
I chose not to watch it because I saw the first trailer. That's enough. I want to go in and know as little about a film as possible, so I'm not spoiled to death. And plus, this movie may not come out for another year and a half because Earth is closed today, and it's going to be closed for a while. So let's put the brakes on releasing any films unless you want to put it out on demand or streaming services. That's fine. But other than that, no, I didn't watch it.
Yeah, I mean, the one takeaway that I did take from the trailer is they kind of avoided putting it's coming on a specific date. They just sort of said coming to cinemas. So, but I think it's one of those ones that I think it's smart that if they plan on sticking to this date, which as of yet they haven't said if it's not moving as far as of yet, then it is smart to get some. They need to get some marketing out there so that if people want to go see it, they can go see it if they wish. And that so. But it was also smart of them to not put at the end that it's coming on a specific date because otherwise they'd have to change it if it comes.
yeah, I'll agree with you, Malcolm. Even though I didn't watch the trailer, it wasn't like Ryan. Even though that is a completely justifiable reason to not watch trailers past the first one, I think it is smart because as of right now, Nolan wants this to come out in July. The studio is not so sure about that, so releasing the trailer now is good because if it is able to come out in July, then you got your marketing already in play, and if it doesn't, then you still have your marketing in play. You still have the ability to do a trailer 3 if you're going to push it further into the year or into next year. And it's also just smart to have just put coming to cinemas because I know that's a big thing for Nolan is that this film needs to be in cinemas. So I'm pretty certain because of that, we're not going to see this on any streaming not streaming services, but like on demand where it's only going to be released in theaters. Him and Vin Diesel. And do you know why they're waiting for theaters? Because movie theaters, they're family. You know, you go there with the family, you sit down, you eat the popcorn with the family. You can't do that shit at home. I mean, you can, but like, my biceps won't look as great. Although Fate the Furious is available on 4K, and I look pretty damn good.
But
that's the first time I've ever done that impression without sunglasses.
Billy, did you watch the Tenet trailer and what did you sort of think?
Were you on Fortnite, Billy? You gonna reveal
again?
that
I've never played a single second of Fortnite in my life.
What the fuck was up with that, by the way? Is that a new thing? You release trailers in video games?
I mean, it's not the first time they've released something in Fortnite, but
why?
They release trailers in football games, like in the middle as advertising in football games. They release trailers, during like in the middle of like premieres for big television shows. So why not? I mean, if millions of people are going to be playing Fortnite, it gets millions of people to see, your name and see your movie. So I mean, why not? Also, you probably got it at a premium. They probably didn't have to pay a ton of money to get it into Fortnite because nobody's done it before.
That's fair enough. I think my only thing is like with TV, like let's say Super Bowl trailers, most people, again, I'll give it as time goes on, it changes, but most people have like TV, they have cable, so most people have the ability to watch the Super Bowl and watch the trailers, whereas if you don't own Fortnite, you can't, you couldn't be there to be at the, not that I give a shit, but like there
But
are
honestly,
people who
nowadays, most people don't watch commercials on television. And because you're either watching HBO, which doesn't have commercials, or you're watching TV that on demand that you're fast forwarding through the commercials that you taped and then you fast forward through it. I know people who will literally let my parents do this. If a show is an hour long, they won't watch it for the first half an hour, and then they will put it, but they'll have it taping, and then they will start it at like 8:30 so they can then fast forward through the commercials. So I mean, at least if it was, depending on how much it was interruptible or not on Fortnite, like if you could just skip it. But even if nothing else, it gets the name. You're going to see the name 10 or 5 seconds of it or whatever. The interesting thing right now with what's going on in the world and this movie is that traditionally the way movies come out is that they start in LA and New York, then they release to the rest of the United States, then they release to, North America and Europe, and then Asia, China, and the rest of the world is later. In July, the majority of the rest of the world might be open and ready to see a movie. Do you release it worldwide first? And then after that, the next market that would probably open is the rest of the United States besides LA and New York. So do you release it then and then like almost release it in reverse? Like, which honestly would be like a very Nolan thing to do. Like Nolan likes to do weird things that nobody else does, that twist that like mess with your brain. So like it's like incepting his film. Like
I'm not gonna say it because I have a joke I'll tell you guys off air.
I didn't watch the trailer, but mainly because I especially for like a Christopher Nolan movie, I really don't want to know anything going into the movie. Like I watched the first trailer and I wish I hadn't even watched that trailer. So
I don't even remember the first trailer. I know I saw it, but like talking about Nolan, man, all I want to do right now is watch Inception. I might do that after this.
It's not a Tom Cruise movie, but it is a good Chris Nolan movie.
If Tom... Oh, man, that movie, you know what? Leo's great, but fucking Inception. It's like an A+ now. It's an A++ of Tom Cruise. Played cop.
Playing cop, okay.
But yeah, but we've got a few news that also has come out throughout the week. But... So I'll just go over the headlines and you can talk about what you want. But apparently Michael Mann is working on a prequel to Heat.
Wow.
Jodie Comer is being eyed to play Furiosa in a Furiosa prequel movie to Fury Road. David Arquette is returning for a Scream reboot or sequel. I'm not too sure what it is at this stage.
What?
Apparently, Blumhouse is looking to film a movie in the Universal parking lot while it's all closed or something. Ruby Rose is leaving Batwoman, and CW is going to recast that role for season 2. Michael Bay is producing a pandemic thriller called Songbird, which apparently is going to start filming in 2 weeks. Apparently, they've got the approval with the
coronavirus. It explodes.
And also, apparently the Snyder Cut is real. Go figure.
It's very real.
It was always real.
But Ryan, is there any what other news sort of speaks to you?
There's a couple of things that speak to me, Malcolm. Let's go into this a little bit. First of all, a prequel to Michael Mann's Heat doesn't make sense. Don't do it. Scream 5/reboot. You tried that on MTV and it didn't work. It only lasted for like 2 minutes. David Arquette and the other actors in the Scream franchise have much better things to do than keep doing the same sequel over and over and over and over and over again. Scream 1 and 4, I love you. Scream 2 and 3, you can take a hike. Now, as far as this whole Snyder Cut business,
Oh,
As
shit.
someone who loves Man of Steel, and I will defend that movie to the ends of time. I will defend that movie no matter what. BVS Ultimate Edition, good stuff, although Jesse Eisenberg is one of the worst casting decisions in the history of Hollywood filmmaking. Justice League, what it was, a lot of people call it a Frankenstein's monster of a movie. I get that. Some parts were enjoyable. Other things surrounding it were questionable at best. Now, this whole Zack Snyder cut thing, after the movie came out and people were clamoring for this cut, I was on that track. I was kind of on that wagon. I was like, I do want to see the Snyder cut. I want to see this. Let's see a director's vision come to life in the way that it was meant to be seen, right? I'm down for that. And then it's crickets, and then people are saying, oh, we're going to do this campaign, we're going to do that campaign, and, I didn't really give it too much attention. Now, the cut is happening. It's real. They're going to release it at either a 4-hour cut or divide it up into 6 different parts on the new streaming service, HBO Max, right? Here's the thing. Do I want to see this cut at the end of the day? Yes. Now, as far as marketing, once we see a bit of a promotional materials, maybe a trailer for this Snyder cut on HBO Max, and then when it actually happens in 2021, then I'll be excited. Right now, all we know is that, yes, it's coming, but it's not coming for at least another year. So I'm not, getting on the hype wagon just yet. But there is this video that came out a couple years ago made by a group of fans that did, hashtag release a Snyder cut. And that video tugs at your heartstrings because to hear the stories of how BVS and Man of Steel have affected people and how many fans that Zack Snyder truly has in and around the world, that's something. That tugs at your heartstrings. And if you guys want a link, I'll send it to you later on after the show. It's a really good video. It's a really, really well put together video by a group of fans around the world. But the Snyder cut, let's wait till it comes out. I'm going to wait for a trailer for it. I'm going to wait for it to come out on HBO Max. We're going to gather our friends together. We're going to have a massive viewing party. We're going to watch it together. And then, and only then, will I judge the film on its own merits. But for right now, I'm like, okay, congratulations, but I'm not over the moon excited yet.
Billy, is there anything from those news that you want to talk about?
A few things. The Scream movie, sure, why not? I don't care, because Ryan said those people have better things to do. I don't know what those things are, because I don't know who.
Well, once Earth reopens, I'm saying those actors can go and do other things that don't involve the word Scream in it.
Doing what? They haven't done anything since Scream. Like Nev Campbell? Are you kidding? Like none of these people. The only person who I care about in Scream is Jamie Kennedy, and he died in Scream 2? So
spoilers. I've never.
Yeah, that's right. What they should do is do like a prequel where he like develops all of his rules or something like that. That would be a funny thing. Yes, please, on the Furiosa prequel. Anything from that universe, or world or whatever that they built. I guess world. I'm all for, because as long as it kind of like it has to be in the same tone as the first one, so it makes me think you need the same director. Because if it's something in the same world but it's not, this doesn't have the same feel and same tone, it's not going to be the same, and it's not going to.
By first one, do you mean Fury Road or Mad Max?
The Fury Road.
Okay, because those are two different.
Well, I'm pretty sure George.
Like,
yeah,
it needs
I'm pretty
to like
sure
have
George
the same
Miller was the one that
tone and
announced
feel
it.
as
So
Fury
yeah.
Road. The Michael Mann prequel. No. It like makes me think that they're gonna like do like The Irishman, and they're gonna like de-age De Niro
again.
But
Like, man was watching The
like,
Irishman, was like, holy shit, I can do this.
Yeah, that's which would not surprise me with Michael Mann in his current, like, the state of his career, because he hasn't made anything good in quite a while. Michael Bay can, no thank you. Rocco like it.
Oh shit!
But yeah, as far as the Snyder Cut goes, I'll believe it when I see it. I don't know when I'll see it, because again, I'm kind of in the same camp, or at least the camp I'm in is Man of Steel was fantastic. Justice League or Batman versus Superman was. I wasn't the biggest fan of it. I think I'm the only person who doesn't like Batfleck. Like, I'm just like, it was too much. Like 19 different things going on at once. And then like they made him into a joke in Justice League, and I was like, all right. So I have like no hype left for Snyder Cut or anything else, and also like Zack Snyder is not like this like artist or something like that like we need to see like his cut of a movie. Like I don't care. Like it literally moves the needle not at all for me. I'll watch it when it comes out because I watch every single superhero movie that that's ever come out. I know it has Superman in it, so it must be good and must be.
It has Ben
must be
Affleck
watched.
in
It
it.
has
It has Henry
amazing
Cavill in
value.
it, so
Wow.
And I'll like, it's fine. Like, I hope it's good. I hope it's good. That's what I hope for, and I hope it's good for Zack Snyder. That he gets like redemption for being associated with that crap fest that was Justice League. Like, but I don't want like this is the other thing is like this whole campaign that like has like I don't like anything that causes vitriol and divisiveness and like all these different things. And that's literally what this entire campaign is like based on. Like, it wasn't like this like fun like, hey, let's all get the Snyder cut. It was literally like a big FU to like everyone else. It seemed like, and then they were like released the Snyder cut. Like, so
Yeah. And Matt, anything from that bunch of news you want to talk about?
besides the innovation.
oh, he's got something to say about Justice League. I know
Fuck,
that.
what were all the stories? Furiosa prequel. I'm not the biggest fan of Fury Road. I thought Furiosa was a great character. Was Charlize Theron not being considered to play her again? Because that's just odd.
Well, I depends on how young they want to go.
Because she
Charlize,
is an ageless
Just
beauty.
de-age her. Just
Played all.
make
Or
her
you
go.
could just de-age her, yeah.
Just
technically
give her
you could.
hair, and you could be like,
Just have De
there,
Niro
she's
play young Furiosa.
younger. Boom. Also, who the fuck's going to complain? I don't fucking care. I find that so odd because that's just a character. Well, it'd be the second time that series takes a character that was perfectly established with an actor but they decided, fuck it, let's recast it with a boring actor. But that's neither here in the movie because I like Tom Hardy never shit. But in that movie, following Mel Gibson, who his version of Max is one of my favorite movie characters of all time.
Wow.
Not a fan of it whatsoever. But this is not Fury Road talk. That's a completely different episode. People can piss at me about. Michael Mann, Heat prequel, dude, fuck off. I know you spent like years and years writing this movie, and legitimately, if you listen to the Cinephiles 2-part episode on it, Michael Mann like went on ride-alongs with the real what's Al Pacino? Because Neil is Robert De Niro. What's the real guy who Al Pacino's character was based on? Like Michael Mann went on like ride-alongs with him, and like he got in deep with all this stuff. So I know that he has a lot of content, but you see, Heat is a great movie. It's incredible. It's one of my favorite films. I don't need to see the prequel of like how Al Pacino became a lieutenant or how Neil became a cop, because like that's when you do, and I guess this can also sort of go with Furiosa, when you do a prequel, there has to be something there. Like there has to be a reason why you're telling this story. Say what you will about the Star Wars prequels, but at least the story was there of, we didn't quite get the full story of how Anakin became Vader in the originals. We got little snippets, but the prequels at least were giving us the full story of how it happened. So that's always my thing. So if you're not going to add anything to these characters of worth, because sure, you can do a prequel to where Al Pacino's character was, I don't know, a stripper before he became a cop. Like, yeah, you could do that. Wouldn't add anything to Heat to make it better. So why fuck it up? But if they do it, it has to be called Cold. That's Cold Heat. Chill. Yeah, chill and heat. Fucking whatever variation of it. Yeah, okay, so the Snyder Cut. I am in to quote Hooper X from Chasing Amy, I am in the minority of the minority, because not only do I like Justice League, but I really like fucking Justice League. I love the DCEU. I'm one of the few people who prefers it over the MCU. Just one of the films I just prefer watching. I like more of those characters. I thought Justice League was great. I said it earlier this month when I was on Class Action. When I was talking about this movie, I said, and it's the same thing I said when I first saw it, it is a great two-parter Justice League Unlimited episode. I adore the movie. You guys will one day get to hear my more complete thoughts of that whole trilogy of Man of Steel, BVS, and Justice League when I do my second look episode on it. I'm interested. It's cool that Zack Snyder is going to be able to do it. I'm interested, considering the fact that the Donner cut of Superman 2 gave us like some great scenes like between Jor-El and Clark that weren't in the original. If we could get something like that, that's cool. And I liked the theatrical cut of VVS, and the Ultimate Edition I really like. So maybe that's the case. I don't know. But even if I don't like this version, I'll still have the one I like. And as I'm not even sure if I said it on camera. I might have been saying it when we were talking off air, but like, if you are not interested in this movie, you don't have to watch it. I think so often people get this sense of, I hate this movie. I don't want to see it, like from trailers or promotional material. And then they watch the movie and lo and behold, they hate it. Like, do you know how many movies there are in the world? Odds are there's a movie you haven't seen that you might like before seeing another cut of a movie that you already hate. Because like Billy's tweet, and we were talking about that beforehand, like, you hate it. Odds are you're going to watch it. You're going to go into it, think you're going to hate it. And then, holy shit, you're going to hate it and be like, yeah, I knew I was going to hate it. And believe me, I know I did that with Solo. I watched those trailers and went, this looks bad. And then I went to the theater and saw it. And guess what? I didn't like it. Then once I got on my own ass to just watch the movie, I actually like it now. There's things I could say about someone who made comments in regards to what this getting released means for other movies that I'm not going to get into because I don't need to call people up. But regardless, for the fans who want to see this, let them have it. And I get it. Believe me, I understand. There were people who were mean and rude and did shitty things with that hashtag. But I think sticking every fan into a bubble, I think there were a lot of fans who genuinely liked Man of Steel and BVS, weren't fans of what Joss Whedon did with Justice League, and knew that Zack Snyder had a different vision, who just wanted to see it. Like, I haven't even seen the video, but I can easily believe, like, the video Ryan's talking about. Because I have been, considering the type of fan the DCU I am, I've been on that weird playing ground to where, yes, I've seen how some DCU fans are to the MCU, to where they just trash it all the time and they just attack Marvel fans. But I've also had great discussions with people who are like me, who just genuinely like these movies and like watching them and like talking about them. It's like being Star Wars fans. It's like, yeah, there are some shitty ones, but like, nothing good comes from putting people into a fucking bubble and just saying like, well, if you like Star Wars, you're shitty because there are shitty fans. Because that's literally everything. We're on YouTube. Shitty people are on YouTube. Does that mean we're all shitty right now? I mean, we are, but that's for completely different reasons, more quality of what at least I produce, but that's neither here nor there. I'm just saying, stop putting people in bubbles. If you actually want to know how people think about something, have a discussion with them, not a fucking debate. Ask them why they feel the way about something. Let them explain it. And then at the end of the day, you can agree or disagree with them, but then you can just move the fuck on, because I'm so sick of the internet with its belief that everybody has to think exactly the same fucking way as you do. And if you don't, you're wrong. And let me explain in my 500 thread Twitter why you're wrong for liking Rise of Skywalker or hating the MCU or whatever the hell you're on about. God, people, there are better things you can do with your time. If you are doing these things, that means you have access to the internet. The internet. Do you know how many things you can do on the internet? And you're using it to bitch about movies people like? get the fuck over yourself. And as Obi-Wan Kenobi would say, you want to go home and rethink your life.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
follow
yeah,
that.
Yeah. I mean, wow.
Couple quick things before we move on or anything.
Yeah,
It's interesting
I got a few
that
things
we have.
myself, but go ahead, Bill.
It's interesting we have the Snyder Cut and released the Snyder Cut, and it's Zack Snyder, and he was replaced by Joss Whedon. And the last time that a movie kind of had a grassroots, like urban groundswell to get made was Serenity for Joss Whedon after
Firefly. Got canceled.
Firefly. And it's kind of like the juxtaposition of those two things is really interesting. But yeah, honestly, just watch the movie. If you like it, you like it. If you don't like it, that's fine too. Like, if somebody liking a movie somehow insults you, that should never happen. And also, someone not liking a movie should somehow not be insulting to you either. Unless your name is literally Zack Snyder and someone is saying your movie sucked, like, it's fine for people to say that they don't like a movie. No one has to like every movie. There's no movie on the planet that everyone likes. People might say they all like it, but nobody all likes it. Plenty of people hate Citizen Kane.
Plenty of people hate Back to the Future. Like, movies where it's just like, how can you be pissed at that? But it's just like, there are people in the world who I'm sure are like, Back to the Future is crap.
Yeah. But yeah, my view on this Snyder Cut is it's one of those ones that it smells like Warner Bros. Decided to do it just to help promote HBO Max, because as Stardrew said, HBO Max, I believe, is only available to American audiences at the moment. So it's only so unless they make a deal with other countries on Netflix or stuff to get international watch to this, it's probably going to be it's probably going to be pirated a lot for people by outside of America, because it's going to end up on the internet eventually anyway. But it's one of those ones, and also it starts a precedent that you can start any complaint on the internet and the studios will listen to you and do something. Because I mean, to take another recent example, Sonic the Hedgehog, a lot of people complained about the look of that character. What do? They fix it up and change it. It's like, so does that mean we're going to get the butthole edition of Cats now? Because that's the thing. That's a trend. Something's and the other thing is,
I'm sorry, Mark, but to comment on that, like, ultimately, I think, like, these companies are business.
Mm-hmm.
If Warner Brothers saw that, oh shit, we have a way to make money off of this new cut, and not only that, with this new streaming service we launched, we have a way to get a bunch of subscribers right off the bat. That way we could be like, HBO Max dropped with, I don't know, 100,000 subscribers or whatever, you know? It, like, as I believe it was the Tom and Jerry movie, as the villain in that one said, we've got to have money. Like, for as much as we love movies and what they can do to us and how they can entertain us and be escapist, at the end of the day, the people running these companies, it's all about cha-ching, cha-ching. It's all about the bling, 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 bling. So, I mean, ultimately,
yeah,
they pay for it.
I mean,
they're getting publicity, they're getting marketing, and it's going to get subscribers to HBO Max. That's what Snyder Cut's going to do. And by the way, as far as the comment threads go about whether a cut should happen or not, or whatever else is going on in the world, like just recently, this week alone, we had the 40th anniversary of Empire Strikes Back. I go on the Star Wars official Facebook page, and people are bashing the other films in the franchise. It's like, why? You're there to celebrate Empire Strikes Back and what your favorite moment from that film is. Who cares? Like, when you bash other films in the franchise, it's like, let's not go into negativity. Let's just celebrate a movie that turned 40 years young and share your positive memories of it. Because I don't think there's anybody who has anything, I mean, maybe I'm wrong, probably. Because as we say, no film is perfect, and not everyone's going to like a film, right? That's just how it rolls. But I don't think I've heard anyone ever say The Empire Strikes Back is a horrible film. But they were bashing other films in the Star Wars saga. It's like, why? Just talk about Empire. Focus on the celebration of a film. Don't bash Rise or Last Jedi or the prequels, because that's been done to death already.
I'll tell you why.
Because it's sad that we see that.
When you love a movie for the movie, you don't care what other people think about the movie, right? Like, you love that movie. When you love a movie only because people told you that it's the best or told you that you should like that movie, you don't have as much support for loving that movie. So when other people love something else, as everything in America, we turn everything into a competition, and we have to like the best, the quantitative best, even though there is no quantitative best on a qualitative scale. So I can't improve that movie from its standing. All I can do is wipe away the competition to somehow make that movie better, which doesn't work, but that's what people think.
Movies are subjective. It's art. Art is subjective. The example I always use when I'm talking about this is the Mona Lisa. You can go to the Louvre in Paris, and you can look. Vietnam right now, but you can go, and there are a couple different people who go to Louvre and stare at the Mona Lisa every day. There are the people who go there and they're moved to tears because of the beauty in it and the strokes and all this. There are the people who sit there and they see that the color's starting to fade and there's cracks right there and right there. And then there's people looking at it and just go, okay. That's watching movies. Like, there are people who can be moved to tears by some movies, and people who go, that's crap, that's a crack, that's a crack. And then people are like, okay. Like, no one gets in fights over the Mona Lisa on Twitter, but for some reason we do about movies. It's just like, enjoy what the fuck you want to enjoy, and if you didn't like something, cool. Move on. Lord, this Tom Cruise episode turned into why we hate film Twitter.
We are going to talk about Tom Cruise.
Why we hate comments on social media.
Yeah, and the last thing I'll sort of bring up is, when the Snyder Cut was announced, there was a select few people that goes like, "Oh, now we've got this. Now maybe we'll get the David Ayer cut of." I
didn't even know it was a thing until people started saying that.
Yeah, I don't fit. But the reason I bring that one specifically up, David Ayer tweeted out a response to someone asking him about that, and this is what he said. Like, he said, "It's simply not my call or my IP. I love Warner Brothers. It's always been my home studio. I respect and support the path the DCU is taking under their stewardship. My cut of Suicide Squad may always be just a rumor, and that's fine." So he's kind of saying, like, he doesn't care if he gets asked to recut Suicide Squad the way he wants. Like, he's just happy with everything that they've done.
I kind of like what he said, to where he's like, it's not my IP. Like, as much as he made that movie, like, it is, DC Films, it is Warner Brothers Films. So ultimately what they choose to do with it is up to them. I mean, look at how long it took for Warner Brothers to release the Donner cut of Superman 2. Like, it took years before they decided.
Decades.
And even then, it's not like they really brought Richard. They brought Richard Donner in, but they didn't really put a lot into it. Like, a lot of that movie is filled with rehearsal takes. Like, it's really a work print of a movie. It seems like they're taking a lot more effort with the Snyder Cut, but I'm just saying, like, ultimately it's up to Warner Brothers on what they want to do with these things.
Exactly.
Well, in the Snyder Cut, there was a bunch of, like, just footage that they either didn't use or they reshot. And that's kind of like the basis for the Snyder Cut.
Well, it's probably similar to, again, I don't know the production history of Justice League like to Superman 2, but it might be very similar to, like, so Superman 2, when Richard Lester got brought on, the DGA told him that he had to shoot at least 70% of new footage to get directing credit. So it's entirely possible that it was the same thing with Joss Whedon, to where it was like, if you want to get directing credit for this movie, you have to shoot X amount of new footage for this. And so there might have been scenes that he would have been fine using, but he had to go in and redo to get total credit. It happened before in DC history.
What Joss Whedon has said in interviews was that there were scenes that hadn't been filmed at all. And then when he filmed them and the way that they came out, some of the previous stuff it wasn't cohesive. It didn't.
It didn't flow.
I mean, a lot of it has to do with like, everybody talks with the mustache and everything like that. Like people just look differently. Things have changed. We need to reshoot to make cohesion. Not necessarily the mustache thing. And that's why a lot of the reshoots happened. I still think he didn't shoot that. Like people say he like reshot the movie. He didn't reshoot the movie. Like there's a lot of stuff that because he came on and the movie was finished within a few months. Like
it's entirely. But again, things could have even changed. I just know that from Superman Zoo. Again, like I said, I haven't gone really deep into the production history of Justice League. So it's entirely. I'm just. Ultimately, guys, who gives a fuck?
A much more interesting production history is Michael Mann's Heat. That's a very interesting production history.
Yeah, and I mean,
maybe someone will write a book on the Justice League story because I would love to read the heck out of that book. Honestly, like all the stuff that went down, and unfortunately, I know Zack Snyder had to leave because of a family tragedy. That part is true, but all the other stuff that went on, I'm really curious. We're probably never going to get it, but if there is a tell-all book somewhere down the line about Justice League, the rise and fall of it, or whatever, I would love.
I'm going to write it, like and then I'm going to get Ben Affleck to do the forward.
Yeah, he can. Yeah,
we'll probably get several books.
We'll get the forward. That'd be great.
Get the book, then we'll get the Snyder cut of the book, then we'll get the Affleck cut of the book.
We'll get the other executive cut of the book.
We'll get the WB cut of the book. We'll
get the standing ovation cut of the book. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah,
7 minutes of standing ovation.
Yeah, a BVS.
Yeah,
I had another bad joke I could have just said.
The thing that surprised me more about this is Warner Brothers only putting in $20 to $30 million for it. So
that's a good chunk of change. It's not like
it's good. Because I'm just not sure if
as Pat Cameron said, how much is this fucking studio put into the 17 cuts of Blade Runner they've released over the years? Which, by the way, guys, box office fucking failure and
they've put in some money.
I assume they put in a shitload of money into all those cuts over the years.
But anyway, the last thing that I personally want to talk about
is Tom Cruise.
The last thing I want to talk about is not this movie.
Well, no, it's still in DC, but it's Ruby Rose leaving
the Batwoman situation. Yeah.
This is one that was surprising when I heard it, but obviously she's got her reasonings and all that, and I know that she was a victim of when she was cast, she was attacked a lot by fans and all that. Whether or not that had anything to do with her decision to not continue on for season 2, I don't know. I can't quite remember what she said, but I think it's a case of she was I think she was overwhelmed with the work, the amount of hours that she had to put into it, weekly, and I think she wants to do a new career, which is fine. I mean, it's one of those ones she can say that she was a superhero, and no one can now take that away from her because it's immortalized in film. It's the interesting thing is their decision to go with a recast rather than sort of going. But in saying that, I think that show did get a bit of traction. I think a lot of people started loving it for in the back half of that season when they started sort of teasing towards Hush and all that. So I don't know who they can get to recast, because it's going to be interesting, because they might have to write in a storyline for why Batwoman looks different in season 2 potentially.
Or you just ignore it.
I don't think they do. I mean, she wears a wig when she's out on the street fighting Injustice. So
is not the first time in DC television that they've recasted their lead. Back in the late 80s, in Superboy season 2, they recasted the main role of Superboy. So there's precedence for this already.
That's old school right there.
In DC. So which sucks because the second actor they brought in, he's fine, but I much prefer the first actor.
But yeah, one thing that I did read is that they are looking to find another actress within the LBGT community to kind of take it on, which I think is fair because a lot of them, there is a lot of great actors in there, and there is rumors that it's because Stephanie Beatrice from Brooklyn Nine-Nine put out a tweet saying something about that she dyed her hair red, and that started a whole thing of that she was being looked at to play Batwoman, which honestly I wouldn't
I
take
just
if that.
ignore that because I spent
Well,
so long wanting Jansen as Batman, and I thought we were gonna get it in Crisis, and we didn't, and now I just have to just let that dream go.
I mean, it's one of those ones like if she does the cows, I actually wouldn't hate it. I think that could be a really interesting role for her. It's going to depend on sort of what her schedule is for Brooklyn Nine-Nine and all that. Whether she can make it work as well. But that's all the news that we have.
We spent 50 minutes on news.
Hey, first time for everything in this business.
Oh, we got 8 minutes for Tom Cruise. No.
All right. Yeah, we got 8 minutes for
Hey,
Tom
what?
Cruise and
No?
2 minutes
Yes?
of plugs, and then we are out of here.
But yeah, we're going to
I already
move on.
plugged, so that cuts off a minute.
That's
we're going to
true.
move-
Thank you for bringing that up, Bill.
But we're going to move on to Tom Cruise now.
Oh,
Yeah, who's
Oh,
this
yes,
guy?
that's
Tom
what he
something?
said.
But he's been in a lot of great stuff.
He was from Legend with Tim Curry.
Did that movie actually happen, though? No, I'm kidding.
Ryan, what are some of your favorite movies featuring Tom Cruise?
Oh, Malcolm, that's a really tough question. I don't know. It's not like I'm wearing a shirt that represents one of his greatest performances or anything. You see this right here? Yeah, that's right. If I feel a need for anything in this lifetime, Malcolm, it is a need for speed. And the only way you can do that is going Mach 2 with your hair on fire. When he plays the character of Maverick, and you got Talk to Me, Goose, Ghost Rider requesting a flyby, negative Ghost Rider, the pattern is full, all that good stuff. Top Gun is obviously one of the top performances of his career, at least for me anyway. What other movies do I like this guy in? Let's see. Mission Impossible 3, Mission Impossible 4, Mission Impossible 5, Mission Impossible 6, especially the bathroom scene between Superman, Henry Cavill, best, most underrated actor in the world today. And then Tom Cruise and him fighting that dude in the bathroom. Yeah, that was good stuff. Let's see. What else has he done right? Gosh, there's so many. Oh, Collateral. Let's not forget Collateral. Let's talk about Collateral for a second. You take Tom Cruise, who's been a goody two-shoes for like 10, 15, 20 years up to that point, put him in a movie with Jamie Foxx as a cab driver, and he's wearing a ridiculously good-looking suit and going into clubs and killing people, being a bad guy, being a hired gun, an assassin, a cold-blooded assassin. How cool can you get? And when you get Michael Mann directing the heck out of that thing, shooting it at night in the beautiful city of angels known as La La Land, L.A., you don't get much better than that. So that's one of his best performances. Lieutenant Caffey, A Few Good Men, You Can't Handle the Truth? Come on. That is one of the best, by golly, courtroom dramas ever made in the history of cinema. That is great stuff. Let's see. Am I missing anything? Oh, yeah. People call this Top Gun on wheels, but I don't care. I enjoy it anyway. Days of Thunder. Days of Thunder is a fun movie. Cole Trickle trying to be the next big thing in NASCAR, winning Daytona 500. Robert Duvall's his crew chief. What's the other guy's name? Randy Quaid is his car owner. Sure, why not? And early on, John C. Reilly's in that movie before he was a
what's his
name?
name?
Shake and Bake.
Mallrats and
yeah, good for him. See what I mean?
No,
there's all kinds of good stuff. You really can't go wrong with the Zach.
Michael Rooker.
Michael Rooker's in it too. Yeah.
Yeah, Michael Rooker's in it. John C. Reilly's in it. I mean, you got Nicole Kidman before they got hitched and tied the knot in Days of Thunder. Fun fact for you kids out there that don't remember that relationship. So I mean, my gosh, there's just so many good moments. It's incredible. So yeah, those are probably some of my favorite Tom Cruise movies. What do you got, Malcolm? Can you top that? I'm not sure you can.
Well, you just read his IMDb off, so
yeah.
I'll try and Top Gun that, but Billy, what are some of your favorite Tom Cruise movies?
Who?
Billy.
Oh,
Billy.
Billy.
So Tom Cruise has had one of those interesting careers, one of the most interesting careers, because you have like his early days of things like The Outsiders and Risky Business, where he was like this like young heartthrob teenage kind of guy. Then he had one of his like biggest breaks was Color of Money with Paul Newman, which is amazing to this day. I mean, I can watch that like right now. You have movies. I mean, he's worked with amazing directors like Spielberg on War of the Worlds and Minority Report. And that was when he was. I feel like that's really like Minority Report might be like one of my favorite Cruise movies that never really gets talked about because it's like Cruise listening to a great director and like having a great director get the most out of Cruise. A lot of times it's just like I feel like the director shows up and says, "Hey Tom, be Tom," and this movie's going to be amazing and we're going to make $1 billion. But I feel like that's a very nuanced performance that we don't always get from Tom Cruise. Usually we get like the crazy, wild, yelling Tom Cruise, but I mean, he's like addicted to drugs in that movie. He gets like his eyes ripped out in that movie and he's like blinded. I really like The Last Samurai. You know, a lot of people.
That's right. That's
a lot
another
of people
good
don't
one.
like that movie for dumb reasons, but that movie's great.
No, that's a good movie. Yeah.
Edge of Tomorrow or Live Die Repeat,
Yes.
whatever you want to call it, is like fantastic. I mean, you
It's another
take
good
Tom
one.
Cruise and you put him in this like sci-fi interesting world battling these crazy creatures, and Emily Blunt is doing yoga forever, every day for the rest of our lives, which what could go wrong with that.
Yeah.
You have Born on the 4th of July, which is a fantastic movie. You have Jerry Maguire, which has a lot of good parts in that movie. It's interesting because Tom Cruise is he the most quotable actor, or at least the actor with the most quotable movies, maybe of all time? Like,
Maybe.
there's another actor who has more quotes from all of his different movies. Like basically every movie that Tom Cruise has ever been in, you have like great quotes. Like maybe not the Mission Impossible movies; those are like probably the least quotey of the Tom Cruise kind of movies. But like,
A few
there's
good men you
always
do.
great quotes. Another movie, some other movies that he's been in. Mission Impossible, I have a love-hate relationship with. I don't really like a lot of that series. I really love 3. I really love Fallout. I really like the one before Fallout.
Rogue
I can never
Nation.
remember. That's Rogue Nation, yeah.
Yeah, with
Ghost
Elsa
Protocol
Faust. Yeah.
Ghost Protocol was fine. Like it's of the top. It's in the top tier of the. And then like 2 is terrible. 1 is like but 3 might be my favorite Tom Cruise movie like of all time.
That is a good pick.
Oh, and War of the Worlds is very underrated, which is like it's funny that you can have underrated Tom Cruise movies, but
Are you guys literally just reading off his IMDb?
Well, we might as well because we got nothing better
well, I
to do than talk about
that
Tom
I was
Cruise.
on Rank 'em and ranked my top 12 Cruise movies.
I mean, I
so-
feel like we're doing that right now, so you know.
I don't like Top Gun that much.
Wow.
I know you guys are both wearing the shirt, but
Yeah, dude, we got to represent. We got the right suits on tonight, man.
But Matt, what are some of your favorite Tom Cruise movies?
Gee, I wonder. He's wearing a T-shirt. Does that
I
count? for anything?
fucking. I'm looking at my top 10 list, and there's
Oh God.
between Billy and Ryan, there are 2 that they didn't mention.
Aw.
I'm
Guys.
disappointed in us.
God
Aw.
damn. All
I
right.
wonder what
So
they could be.
one of his more his just super fun and great performances is Tropic Thunder. Les Grossman is
Oh, Vanilla
fucking
Sky.
great. You know, Asia's my market. Once again, go fuck yourself. A blind orangutan could do your job. No, seriously. Get the fuck out of here. I love that. Rain Man is one of my favorite films of his.
That's a good one.
Everyone talks about Dustin Hoffman in that movie, and Dustin Hoffman is really great, but Charlie is the one who has the arc in that movie. Like Dustin
Charlie
Hoffman
Babbitt.
begins and ends in the same place, whereas Tom Cruise is the one who has the arc, and it's just a wonderful, beautiful movie. All the Right Moves is one of the ones that I like from his early career. I think him and Leah Thompson have great chemistry. Yeah, Days of Thunder is great. It's fun. I'm gonna be picking up the 4K since I don't own it on Blu-ray already.
Nice.
Just because I don't own it yet. Because Top Gun, I already have the Steelbook for, which is
Same here.
because I
Yeah.
love Top Gun.
Yeah.
It is. I wrote a WordPress article on it that you guys can read, which is why I consider Top Gun to be the greatest 80s action film of all time.
Wow.
Yeah, War of the Worlds is one of my favorite Spielberg movies. I know a lot of people hate that movie, but I adore that movie. I think he's great in it. But my number one is Jerry Maguire. I think Cruise is so good in that movie. He plays a lot in that film. Like, he has kind of the, like Billy was talking about, like the usual like quick guy, like cool, haha. That's kind of what he starts. But as the movie goes on, he shows that there's more layers to Jerry and there's more in him. And it's a silly scene, I know, but like I love that scene between him and Renee Zellweger at the end. I know it's dumb and stupid cheesy, but like it's so cute. And I just adore that movie.
It should have ended right there. That should have been the end of the movie.
No,
Complete
because
me.
at the end of the movie, it's great when Ray throws the baseball
No!
and he sees them, and it's just like, and it's like, what? I'm not gonna say we're gonna put him into the majors.
You
Dude, it's a nice little tap on
complete
everything.
me.
The whole movie is about him, like reaching, like having his full character arc and like redeeming him for being a terrible person, and then it shows a glimpse of him like backsliding. Like I don't want to see that. Like
Just a cute moment with his
catch
wife.
with him. That would have been a better ending.
Cute
Show Me
moment.
the Money's a good scene.
But yeah, Show Me the Money is a great scene.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Well, it's hilarious because he's on the phone with him that you just see like all the on holds, like all these other people he was trying to get. And so he's just broken, and that's his last one. So he's just, show me the money. I love black people. Show me the money. Yeah, it's great.
And then he packs up his stuff at the end, and then he says, "Who's coming with me? Who's coming with me? Dorothy Boyd. Thank you."
I know. I'm not gonna do what you guys think I'm gonna do, which is flip out.
And then he takes a bag full of fish.
It's my favorite performance of his. Easily,
That's fair.
A Few Good Men is great. I think
So
he
good.
is so good against Nicholson. My favorite scene between them is actually one of the more underrated ones, which is it's when they go to Cuba and they visit him, and Nicholson's being all like,
you gotta ask me nicely.
These guys sit here, 500 yards away, and then he stands up and he's just like, yeah, but I will need to see that. And you just see Nicholson just like, no one talks to Nicholson like that, and he doesn't give a shit. It's great, yeah. So
I need a copy for the file.
Yeah. So those are some of my favorite Cruise movies.
For A Few Good Men, because Cruise has been in a lot of like ensemble kind of casts, and he doesn't.
Yeah, well, this is one of my favorite films of all time as well.
What's that?
The Outsiders is one of my favorite movies of all time.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, I love that movie.
Sometimes Cruise isn't always like the best actor in the movie, like because he's in these ensemble casts with like these amazing actors a lot of the time, and sometimes he doesn't seem like the best actor. Like when you compare him, he's in an amazing ensemble cast in A Few Good Men with some of the best actors of our time, and he is the best part of that movie. Like, what did you say?
Yeah, what was the thing that the commenter just said?
Put up a giant
pride swallowing pride. I will never become. Is that a Jerry Maguire quote? Okay, because I haven't seen Jerry Maguire in like 5 minutes, so it's been a long time since I've actually seen that movie, so I'm not sure where that quote was from. Thanks for bringing it up though in the chat.
Ferris said Magnolia, which is one of the best Tom Cruise.
I've never seen it. I've never seen Magnolia. I've never seen Born on the 4th of July.
Danny said it. Vanilla Sky. You say what you will about the movie. It put Tom Cruise and Kurt Russell in a motherfucking movie together.
I've never seen Vanilla Sky
all
the way through.
It will.
Were they together in the movie? I don't even remember.
I don't.
No, he was together with Cameron Diaz.
They were in the movie together.
And
I don't care if you get into the
Penelope
mental
Cruz.
shit. They were in that movie together.
Yeah.
But anyway,
Yeah, Malcolm, enjoy the 5 movies we didn't talk about.
some of my favorite
It's that
Tom
first
Cruise
one.
movies
That's all we can talk
is
about.
I do agree with AJ. I think War of the Worlds is actually fairly underrated.
I gotta go
Yep.
back and rewatch that.
It's
Uh,
good, man. It's good.
I haven't
It's
seen it in a while.
90% good. It's like the last 10% is
Let
kind of
Malcolm
like
talk, Billy.
the aliens are kind of, once you like see the aliens, you're kind of like, this is what we waited for. But it's good though. 90% is not bad.
but anyway, yeah. I mean, I really like. I think War of the Worlds is great. Like it gets,
wow.
it does get a lot of hate. But I think that the effects and like everything Spielberg did with the movie, works. Another one I do think doesn't get talked about a lot is Night and Day, which he does with Cameron
Oh.
Diaz.
Oh,
I do like that movie
That's-
a lot.
oh, that's bad.
No. Night and Day is not bad. The
It
same
is
movie
bad.
that was made with Ashton Kutcher and Katherine Heigl, where it's
Yeah, that was
basically the same movie.
Killers.
That's
Is that-
that's a bad movie. Night and
that-
Day
They
is
both are.
that-
They're both bad.
Night and Day's fun.
Is that
Ugh.
Killers the one you were thinking of, Billy? With that-
Yeah, Killers. Yeah, I
so
saw that in the
bad.
theater. The boy, yeah.
So bad.
Also, even though this the Goldmember does kind of fall into more of a cameo than
Cameo,
anything, what he does in
He's
that,
great,
It was kind of funny.
is great. And I'm not gonna lie,
Movie.
this Danielle does that. I'm not too sure if she's joking on this, but
I have not
No,
seen
Eyes
that
Wide Shut is
movie.
a
I have
great
not seen that
movie.
movie.
yeah,
It's
Eyes
a
Wide Shut. I
great-
have not seen
It's
it.
Kubrick's final film, and
Neither have I
it's
seen Risky
it's
Business.
him and Nicole Kidman. Like, look, we can talk about their personal life, and then we don't need to
Not
talk about
working
that.
out.
But like them in movies together, like Far
Days
and
of Thunder?
Away and Days of Thunder,
Woohoo.
and Eyes Wide Shut, like they're really good together.
I haven't seen Eyes Wide Shut.
Far and Away is
No,
not bad either. Honestly,
Oh,
Yeah,
Far Away. I
bad
haven't
movie.
seen that one either.
I mean, I really need to watch that sort of completely.
Far and Away?
I know I've Eyes Wide Shut.
It's-
I
It's a good one. Oh, Eyes Wide Shut. Yeah. It's a good one for a completely different reason. Far and Away is good.
yeah.
I've seen Eyes Wide Shut. I don't remember anything besides the sex ceremony, and that's about it.
Oh, is
God,
that all
I
that
can't
happens in
imagine
that
why.
movie?
That's the only scene you remember.
Okay.
Also, another
Ooh.
one that I do love that I was surprised to find out was actually nominated for a Golden Raspberry Award that year is Cocktail.
You know, I don't think that movie's bad. It's
I've
not
never
terrible.
seen it.
That's a great '80s movie. It's like
That's a
it's
fun. It's a
quintessential-
fun '80s movie with my girl. What's her? Elizabeth Shue. Bless
Elizabeth
that
Shue,
woman's
yeah.
heart.
Yo,
She was-
she was in that with young Tom
She was
Cruise.
in a lot of things in the '80s.
It's the quintessential TBS movie. Like you would never go out of your way to be like, I really need to watch Cocktail right now.
But it's
But
a
you're
good
flipping
movie.
through the
It's fun.
channels and it's on TBS, and you're like, oh, Cocktail. And you sit down and you watch the rest of the movie, no matter where it was, no matter what scene it's in, like whether it's the beginning or the end. And that's like, it's a good
Yeah,
movie.
I like Cocktail. I mean, I think it's a good movie. Him and Elizabeth Shue. Oh my goodness, Elizabeth Shue. We love you. You are fantastic in that.
Yeah,
She's
no,
fantastic in pretty much anything.
we
she
just-
Right
does,
after Adventures in Babysitting too, so that was like
Oh,
we hadn't
dude.
seen Elizabeth Shue, I think, since then, or like in that
Well,
time.
Karate Kid, 1984.
Yes.
And then you
Karate
got Back
Kid,
to the Future Part 2 and 3, which was 89,
89
and
and
90.
90. Yeah. Speaking
So-
of anniversaries, that movie turns 30 years young this year. Back to the Future Part 3.
Oh, sweet. I love
Yeah.
that.
I know another anniversary
okay.
watch we need to do. Kearns, we need to do that. We need to do BTTF, the original 35th anniversary party. We need to do that.
Here's a little
Oh.
trivia for you guys. So we talked about Michael Rooker being in
Days of
Days
Thunder.
of Thunder. We also talked about Michael Mann making Heat. So Michael Mann, before he made Heat, made a TV movie called
Yeah, LA
LA
Takedown.
Takedown, and it's basically Heat,
Well,
but is a
he
TV
was
movie.
trying to make a TV show, and that's actually just the pilot, but ABC went, and we don't want to do the show, so they just aired the pilot as a TV of the week film.
Mm.
Right. But Michael Rooker plays the De Niro character, or
Oh,
no,
Neil
the Pacino
McCauley?
character. He plays the Pacino character in
Oh, okay.
LA Takedown.
Nice.
Yeah.
That is a
That's
nice,
a-
fun fact, Billy. Thanks for bringing that to our
That's
attention.
interesting.
Bring it all back, guys.
I
Bring it all
haven't
back.
seen LA Takedown, but like Pacino's so
Oh, it's
good
not
in
good.
that. It'd be interesting to see his version of Vince.
LA Takedown is not good.
Oh, it's not.
Uh,
Okay.
It's not good.
but one movie no one
It's a
mentioned.
TV movie.
Ooh. Hold on. There's one movie in his IMDb that we did not
Oh,
mention.
God.
Malcolm.
But I'm pretty sure it's not going to be anyone's favorite movie. It's The Mummy from 2017.
Oh my God.
that-
Hey,
so
we also
everyone saw on
mentioned,
Twitter today.
I had
Apparently,
a
3
little
years
bit
ago
of fun
today,
with that movie.
they
So, and
released
I
that
liked.
picture.
Hey,
Can
I
you
liked
believe
Russell
that?
Crowe as Jekyll and Hyde. I thought he was my favorite part of that movie. But Cruise, he was fine. The movie, I enjoyed it for what it was. It was fun.
I honestly like that movie when you compare it to the Brendan Fraser film. It's
I mean, the Brendan
nothing.
Fraser. Yeah, the Brendan
but
Fraser film is much
as,
better, but still.
like, yeah, it wasn't great. I watched it on TV. That's where I saw it once. I was
Sure.
watching actually Mission Impossible 3, and then it came on right afterwards. I was like,
That's
I'm not
odd.
doing anything. I guess I should finally see it. It's not a great movie, but like maybe it's just because I like Tom Cruise as an actor. Like I
Yeah.
liked him throughout it. Like, yeah, he was doing some of his normal stuff, but like,
Sophia Patella was good.
you know, it was-
I
you
liked
know, it was fine.
I liked the first Jack Reacher movie, the first one.
Yes. I don't forget. Yes.
First one was-
That was
first
great.
Jack
I've never seen a
Love
Jack
the
Reacher
movie.
film.
Dude, the second one's not that good, but the first one's great.
The first one is like it's a good kind of like action. You know, these sort of like
If
Jason
you like
Bourne.
Tom Cruise, it feels like I don't know. It's just like it. If you like Tom Cruise, just like being a badass, it's kind of a movie that just it's like he's the best of the best. Let him just go and kick a bunch of ass, and he does it.
There's a scene in the movie where he literally tells everyone what's going to happen in the fight to the guys that he's about to fight, and then that happens in the fight.
Dude,
Like,
it's literally like it's like his version. It's like Van Damme, and this is probably going to go over people's heads. It's like, have you ever seen Hard Target for Van Damme? To where it's just like, it's a movie that just allows Van Damme to be a badass and just like walk up and kick the shit out of people. That's what Jack Reacher is for Tom Cruise. It's just a vehicle to where he could just be a badass throughout the entire thing. It's great.
it's
I
kind
love
of
it.
like it's like in that whole like Taken vein of like a kind of
Yeah.
like normal person beating the crap out of everybody. Like, it's funny because Jack Reacher in the novels is like 6'4", like
250
240
pounds.
pounds, all muscle, Army Ranger, badass, like Dolph
Well, that's
Lundgren.
apparently why
then
for the TV show they didn't want to bring him back, because apparently now all of a sudden Tom Cruise being too short for the role is a problem. Fuck yourself, Jack Reacher people.
Put some lifts in his feet, it'll be fine.
What's your other favorite film of his, Malcolm? You were about to mention one more, right? Or was that it? Did we run through his whole IMDb?
American Made, that movie's fine.
We've got a famous person in the chat here.
Really?
Yes. Wow.
Of course,
Oh,
he saw
shit.
the
Okay.
legend, like,
I haven't
Sign,
seen Jack
shine,
Reacher,
no,
whoever
die.
that person is in the chat, so I
No,
can't comment
that's-
respect.
that's-
It's Ben.
Or at least
it
it's
took me
his
a while to
show.
realize who it was.
Oh, it is
It's
Bateman?
his shows that
It
yeah,
is.
it's Bateman, yeah.
Oh, Bateman, thanks for chiming in tonight, man.
Bateman got like a tingly feeling in his neck, and he's like, somewhere, someone's talking about Tom
Someone's
Cruise.
talking about Tom Cruise.
I mean,
Or
I
is it
did
Nick
tell him we
Cage?
were doing
It's
that.
either Cage or Cruise, one of the two. I'll
Hey,
find him.
can we do a Nicolas Cage appreciation night, Malcolm, for the next show? Because I would love to do that.
You got to invite Bateman for that because he
Yeah, can we get
loves-
Bateman on for that? If we do it, can we do that?
I mean,
It is very important that we talk about Nicolas Cage, that we get them Bateman on to talk about it.
Yeah, we
Yeah, we got Tom Cruise talking about Nick Cage.
we got to get Nick Cage on this show, or not Nick. Talk about Nick
No,
Cage
we
with
should
Ben
try to get
Bateman.
him
Sorry.
too. I mean,
You
that's
can
a
probably
fucking
get Nick Cage
awesome.
on this show at this
No,
point.
no,
Do
he's
that.
got other things on his plate.
I'm literally setting the treat out right now to Nicolas Cage.
Do it, guys.
Go ahead and
look,
do it, Malcolm. I don't
look,
think he's got much
we
better going
live
on. But
in a world where people
yeah, Malcolm, mark it
tweeting
on your
at Warner
calendar, man. We
Brothers.
got to do a Nicolas Cage appreciation
We
night with Ben Bateman.
tweeted at Warner Brothers, and we're getting the Snyder Cut. So all you people watching right now, does Nick Cage have Twitter? If not, find his Facebook page or whatever social media shit he's got, and just
Instagram.
tweet and just say, "Come on, take 3."
No
How
one
does he know
knows
what
about,
it is?
knows about more
What?
about Nick Cage than Nick Cage.
Well,
all
let me
right?
tell you
If
something.
we're
If we
talking
get
about
Nick Cage on this show, we
we
need to
need
talk
Nick
about the
Cage.
director's cut of Gone in 60 Seconds, because that's a darn good film, man.
Why?
But Tom
because I
Cruise
love
is
that
not
movie.
in that movie. So.
Who cares? I'm
Tom
talking about
Cruise
Nick
is
Cage.
not.
I'm not talking about Cruise.
We can talk about Nick Cage enough.
No, sure,
Let's
Malcolm.
talk
Put it on your
about
docket.
Cruise.
It probably won't be next week, but I might. In this day and age, with not a lot of movies coming out weekly, they might just be. I might just pick a random topic that's out from
Sure.
the.
Yeah,
I'll do
Malcolm,
it.
it's not like you haven't done that
Yeah.
before since all quarantine started.
I mean, it's
Can we
it's
talk about
basically
Top Gun 2 and how amazing that movie looks? That movie looks amazing.
Top Gun Maverick. Oh, and guys, look,
Too.
there's not a lot of movies being released, which we all know what that means. Tom Cruise is gonna get a fucking Oscar nomination for Best Actor for Top Gun Maverick.
Yes.
Obviously, I mean he would have gotten it already, but it's just more guaranteed now.
That'd be great.
What movie should he have won an Oscar for? 'Cause
That's a good
Jerry
point,
Maguire.
Ben. That's a good
Jerry
point, Ben.
Maguire, he should have for the ones he's been nominated for. Jerry Maguire, I think he should have won for. But the fact he didn't get a nomination for Rain Man or A Few Good Men is a tragedy.
Oh, he should have won for A Few Good Men. Oh my god.
It's a tragedy.
Should have gotten nominated.
'cause there was a point in time where Cruise was like gunning for Oscars. Like,
Few Good Men would have been a good
And
start.
then he just, in sort of the early mid-90s, he was trying to be an Oscar actor. And then I think at a certain point, like, he just realized the Academy was never going to give it to him. And so he just said, fuck it. And, you know, hey, look, Stallone got a nomination for Rocky when he was in his 70s. Cruise is going to be like 40 for the rest of his life. So he's got a long time.
if he's not
He's
killed
gonna be
making another
40.
Mission Impossible movie, then he's got a long career ahead of himself.
Yeah, he's got 2 more Mission Impossible movies before his contract is up. Should have won for
Should've won
Jerry.
for
No
Jerry,
kidding.
no one cares about
Oh,
Jeffrey.
okay. Wow. Okay.
I know, right?
Okay.
That is true. They should do like the Oscars should do like every 10 years, they should do like a re-Oscar of like who should have won 10 years ago. Here's an Oscar.
For Tom
whoever
Cruise
won
and A
10
Few
years
Good
ago
Men.
can keep theirs. But here's like the actual like person who should have won, because there's a few times where that's happened. But.
yeah, and I mean honestly, I think there's a chance of Tom Cruise getting nominated for Maverick could be pretty high because like especially with not a lot of movies actually coming out, and
Yeah.
I mean they have changed the rules slightly that if it goes to stream but it was intended for a theatrical release, then it's eligible. So
The only thing that sucks for me is that odds are my 2 boys are going to have to go against each other for the Oscar, which is Affleck for The Way Back and Tom Cruise for Top Gun Maverick.
That's tough.
That's tough. It's
It's
tough.
tough.
By the way,
It's
if you
tough.
guys want to tweet at something, tweet at the Academy and get me on the board, okay? I'm just saying. Better shit would happen if I was on the Academy board.
That's
just
probably
saying.
true.
I'm
Probably
just
true.
saying.
Can we get Kearns on the board there? Can we get
Wait,
him there?
Here's how Cruise is going to win his Oscar. All right, sometime in the near future.
Is he
your
going to
boy,
get a Sent for the Woman Oscar to where it's not for that performance, for the career
Yeah.
like Pacino?
No, it's not going to be that. Oh, I just blanked on the director.
Ryan gave up. He walked away.
Quentin
He was like,
Tarantino is going to make a movie, and it's going to have Tom Cruise and Nicolas Cage in it. And Cruise is going to win Best Actor, and Nicolas Cage is going to win Best Supporting Actor. And then it's going to explode, literally.
I'm honestly surprised that Tom Cruise has never done a Tarantino movie before. Why
He doesn't work with directors anymore. Although he worked with Doug Liman again, so I mean, like, maybe.
yeah.
if you
yeah,
can-
I mean, it's one of those ones. There's a lot of movies Tom Cruise is like a few genres Tom Cruise never touched, and one that he did almost step into is he was almost Iron Man, and that would have been an interesting.
Yeah,
I
that movie
take-
is interesting because, like, the whole reason why it didn't work is because he wanted to have it be that you could always see his face even when he's in the suit. Which, look, I know nowadays we all think of Iron Man like Rob Downey Jr., that trilogy, that character, but like at the time they were doing that was right around the time Batman Begins. Like, superhero movies were not what they are now, and also Iron Man, he was good old shellhead for Marvel. No one really cared about Iron Man. So Tom Cruise, it's like, aren't you hiring me to be in this movie? Why do you want to put me in a suit to where no one can see my face? Like, his logic kind of made sense to me.
Yeah,
we don't know how actually close he was being to Iron Man. It's a lot of speculation. Like, also, people cared about Iron Man back then.
No, people. I'm saying general audiences now know who Iron Man is and care, but back in 2005, mostly just comic book fans. Like
general audiences knew who Iron Man was.
Not like they do now, man. He was like I said,
good old. He was 23 movies later. Of course, not like how they do now. Your average person in 2004 knew who Iron Man was.
I disagree with you that the average person knew who like Wolverine was and the Hulk. I don't think they knew who Iron Man was.
The Avengers were huge. The Avengers were massive. Also, there were several cartoons that were the Avengers cartoons. So Iron Man was what was in the zeitgeist. People knew who Iron Man.
He kind of has a point, because as someone who grew up on Fox Kids, there was a Marvel show for almost every character. You had Spider-Man, X-Men, The Incredible Hulk, and Iron Man. I remember watching all those shows. I knew who Iron Man was, but when the movie was coming out, I'm like, really? We get a movie about Iron Man? I didn't think the TV show was all that good, and I think the movie's going to work. And then, boom, it blew us away and became one of the, it started the MCU, so we got to give Iron Man credit for that.
The funny thing is that it didn't start the MCU. The MCU actually doesn't really begin as the MCU until I think it's Iron Man 2 that actually because they just made Iron Man as like an Iron Man. They just made an Iron Man movie. They had no idea what it was going to be. They didn't know if it was going to make any money. They were like, we're going to make this movie and hope for the best. And then it blew up, and then they're like, we need to make 15 movies as quickly as possible.
I mean, to bounce on that, they must have had a feeling that it could go.
Because he was in the post-credit scene for Incredible.
Yeah, if Nick Fury didn't do that post-credit scene, they wouldn't have had say, "Hey, we don't have plans for this. This is just one movie."
Exactly. So
they made Iron Man, they made it as a standalone movie. That was just going to be a movie. And yes, it does have an open and post-credit scene, but they did not expect it to be. There's no way that they said this and we're going to make 23 movies and it's going to be the biggest.
Oh, I don't think. I think if they had any plan, I think it went as far as Avengers. I think if they had any sort of plan, it was we're going to do all the main heroes of the Avengers and going to get their own individual films, and then we're going to end with a team-up movie. I think beyond that, I'll agree that maybe with Iron Man 2 is when they started to think, oh, there's maybe more to this. But I think originally there was at least that base plan of do the solo character movies and then do the big team-up movie, and then maybe that'll be that.
Yeah.
Well, originally it was Iron Man and Incredible Hulk. That was the two movies that they had.
Those were the first two
plans to make. And Iron Man did amazing, and Incredible Hulk sold a lot of tickets, but there weren't a lot of it didn't get as much of the reception that Iron Man did.
Which is unfortunate because The Incredible Hulk is a really good film.
I haven't seen it in a very long time.
Oh, it's a very underrated film because
it's criminally underrated.
Tim Roth is one of the best MCU villains of all time.
Yeah, Abomination. Yeah,
gets no credit whatsoever. Both as Abomination and as himself.
Yeah, he's a good. They're all great actors. William Hurt's. I mean, it's Thunderbolt Ross. Yeah. It was great.
Yeah.
And Liv Tyler is Betty Ross.
Oh yeah, that's right. Liv Tyler.
Yeah, you can't forget about Liv Tyler, Kearns.
I can. I'm Kenny Cratcher.
Who was in the?
I am not allowed to forget.
Oh God, you were saying, Billy?
Always have that movie sitting
on my love interest. The Incredible Hulk. The one with
Jennifer Connelly with Eric.
Jennifer Connelly. That's right.
Oh, the Ang Lee Hulk with Eric Bana. Yeah, that had a great cast, but the film was executed poorly.
The script was terrible because
the film was executed poorly, but the cast they put together was great.
If you're someone who's only seen Incredible Hulk and you think that Eric Bana is a bad actor,
no, he was
go into the what's the movie?
Troy.
I think it's Munich. Watch Munich, Spielberg's film.
Troy.
He's fucking great in that movie. Eric Bana's
watch
great.
Pretty much any movie except for The Incredible Hulk, and he's amazing.
And it's the script that fails him. The script that just does not allow him to be.
It's also the direction.
Ang Lee was making.
I don't think anyone knew what they were doing on that movie.
Now back to Tom Cruise.
Yeah. To wrap up Tom Cruise
appreciation. Movie was Mission Impossible 2.
Title is.
Yeah, we're coming up on the 90-minute mark, and Malcolm's got a million things to do. So,
but anyway, I don't really have a lot more to say on Tom Cruise. I think it's a case. I think we've covered just about every aspect of Tom Cruise's career.
Malcolm, do you have a game in which we have to choose between all of Tom Cruise's characters to find out which is the best?
No, but
Fucking
I-
bastard. You make me sit through Parks and Rec in The Office, and yet when I thought maybe you were going to make me do it for Tom Cruise, which I would have hated, but I also would have loved it, now you don't do it?
I thought about it, but then I had to host a match just before this, so I didn't have time to set anything up.
Oh,
he
he
had
had to host a
Did you hear that,
match.
guys? He had to host a match.
He's a very busy man, that Malcolm.
Kern,
You gotta
just
respect
do
him
your
for that.
top 5 Cruise characters, Kern, since you're ready, since you're prepared for it.
Top 5.
Top 5.
Number
That's a
1 is
good
Jerry
question.
Maguire. Number 1 is Jerry Maguire. Number 2 is Charlie Babbitt from Rayman. Number 3 would probably be Pete Mitchell, Top Gun. Number 4, Daniel Cafferty from A Few Good Men.
Daniel
And number
Caffey.
5,
What's it
probably
gonna be?
Ethan Hunt from either Mission Impossible 3 or Mission Impossible Fallout.
Good picks.
Fair.
Good picks.
Billy, what are some of your favorite characters? Your top 5?
The Last Samurai, whatever his name is in that, I can never remember what it is. It's Lieutenant
Nathan Algren.
Daniel.
Yeah, Nathan, I knew it was
Nathan Algren, that's right. Yeah.
Nathan Algren. Boom.
Algren.
Movie Trivia Schmodown. Call me.
Alugren. We would have accepted Alugren as well.
No, it's Nathan Algren. But Movie Trivia Schmodown. Call me.
So Minority Report, again, I really love that character. Again, it shows different sides of Cruise. Ethan Hunt is probably, for me, it's from 3, I think. Or also Fallout, I agree with that. And then
That's
Born
the
on
only-
4th of July, I think, is another one that's just
Those are the only 2 for me to where he's playing Ethan Hunt. In all the other movies, it just feels like Tom Cruise to me. Whereas in 3 and Fallout, it feels like a character.
I can
He's
see that.
definitely a character piece. Fallout still has a lot of the impossible elements, but it's still a lot of character too, because you get all of the his relationships with everybody in the team in that one that you don't really get.
Yeah.
In maybe 4 or 5, and definitely not in 1 or 2. I mean, all the team guys in 1, so.
Ryan, what are your top 5 for characters from Tom Cruise?
Jeez, that's a good question. Just for
I'm the only one who came prepared for this shit.
Yeah, you're the only one who came prepared, Currents. Good for you. You get yourself a medal. Here's the thing. For me, I'm going to have to put, because these movies are so good and they have great villains around them, and there's good, serious, good dramatic moments. I'm going to give it to A Few Good Men, Lieutenant Daniel Cafferty at number 1. Ethan Hunt, Mission Impossible 3, because Mission Impossible 3 had the best villain. Rest in peace, Philip Seymour Hoffman. We miss you, brother.
For sure.
3 is probably going to be Pete Mitchell from our good friends at Top Gun, because they're great friends of ours and we support them and everything they do, especially Top Gun Maverick. We're very much looking forward to your next film, Tom. That's number 3. Sorry, I don't know why I'm laughing hysterically. 4 would be, man, so many good movies that he's done. It's hard to pick.
Cold Trickle.
That's probably my number
Cold
5.
Trickle?
That's probably my number 5.
I actually really like Days of Thunder.
I do like Days of Thunder, but it's probably going to come in
Yeah, I
at
respect
5.
Cold
And then
Trickle.
number 4 would be, what's another good movie? No, you know what?
Cage.
Hold on a second. Strike that. Reverse it. Okay, so Cold Trickle's at number 4, and then
West Brooklyn?
5 would be. Oh wait, what am I doing? Okay, never mind.
I like how
hold
we're
on a
getting the
second,
inner
hold on a second.
workings
I'm
of
thinking of all
Ryan's
these different
brain right
movies.
now.
Okay, hold on. Vincent is number 4. Vincent from Collateral is
Okay.
number 4, because that movie is so good, and that is a great
Yo,
performance.
homie, at my briefcase.
Great performance. And then 5 would be Cold Trickle from
Trickle.
Days of Thunder. I mean, as much as I love Edge of Tomorrow, I just find myself rewatching those 5 other films more than I can see myself rewatching Edge of Tomorrow. And that's nothing against Tom, and it's nothing against
Days of
the
Thunder.
very beautiful and
But
intelligent
I just
Emily
gotta
Blunt.
say, Days of Thunder. People are going to tell you that it's Top Gun with race cars, which in a way it is. You could draw a lot of comparisons, but it is
It's
to
fun.
me, it is the perfect summer movie. Like if you have a really good sound system, get some friends. Albeit not right now, but get friends together, pop some popcorn. Yeah, there's some silly moments, sure, but like it's that fun kind of just like escape. It is. Days of Thunder is great escapist filmmaking to me. Like it's just a fun movie to just sit there. I'm gonna watch it probably when we get off this call because I've been
Yay.
wanting to watch it. So just
Days of Thunder also has better relationships than Top Gun. Top Gun, they don't really have any relationships outside of like him and Goose.
Yeah, him
Like
and Goose.
him and
yeah.
Goose, they have a relationship, but like even him
him
and
and-
Iceman don't really have like a relationship. They just have a like banging their heads against each other. His relationship with Michael Rooker is great in Days of Thunder. His relationship with I'm forgetting his name.
Robert Duvall.
Robert Duvall is great. Randy Quaid, his relationship with him is great. Even his relationship with
Harry Elwes, by the way.
Harry
Harry
Elwes is
Elwes as the villain is
such a
I
dick.
loved 90s between like I'm not sure which is a better dick performance, that or Twister, because in both he's just like the most shit rat
He is
guy.
Oh, that's
I
right. He's the bad
fucking
guy in
love it.
Twister with Bill Paxton.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not to
Oh,
turn-
Roxy, you're
I
trying
don't
to
know
steal
if
my
Harry Elwes
design.
is.
You're trying to steal my design. All right.
That's another actor we lost too soon. Bill Paxton. We miss you, man.
Oh my
Oh,
god.
But yeah, for me, my top 5 Tom Cruise characters, Ethan Hunt is number 1.
Fair enough.
Jack
What
Reacher is number 2.
Ooh.
Hot take. All right.
Ooh, okay.
Jim McGuire is 3.
Okay.
Major William Cage from Edge of Tomorrow is 4.
Nice. That's a
And,
good. Les Grossman.
Oh God.
no.
That's an honorable mention.
That's more like a
Yeah,
I
cat.
fucking love
And Ray Ferrier from War of the Worlds is probably going to round out my
that.
top
Honestly,
5.
Wow.
is very close to my top 5. Honestly, I think he's really good in that movie.
And I mean,
One we ahead,
one that I did want to bring up, but then I couldn't knock out Ray for this
Mhm.
one is I really do like him in Rock of Ages as Stacey Jacks.
That's what I was
Oh my God.
Jax.
And I
That's a dog shit movie. But
I heard that movie was awful. I heard it was awful.
Dude, he's
Bateman
just
loves
just
Stacey
watch-
Jax. Where's Bateman? You still in the chat,
Just
Bateman?
watch-
Loves Stacey
look.
Jax.
Go on YouTube and just look up his scenes. That's all you need. Is
Oh
just
really?
Tom
I don't need to
Cruise's
watch the
scenes.
whole movie.
Just
Okay.
watch his scenes.
So look
That's
up
fine.
best of
He
Stacey
is-
Jacks. Okay.
Yes,
He
that'll
is-
do it.
He is the whole movie.
Okay.
And Malin
I will
Ackerman
look
is
that up.
super sexy, but that's fine.
I will watch that.
What were you
Did we
about
ever
to say,
figure out
Billy?
if it's Julianne Ho or Hogue
That's-
from last week?
I was
Julian
actually
Huff.
figure that out.
Julian Huff. Huff.
Huff.
No,
Hogue,
Huff.
whatever.
Like H-U-F-F. Julian
You
Huff. Get
apparently
it right.
did not
Kearns,
watch
get it right.
last week, Brian. You did not
What?
watch last week. Did you watch Late Night last week?
No, I'm sorry, I didn't.
That was a moment where her name is not how it's spelled.
Well,
That's
it
the
is
thing,
Julianne
like,
Huff. I
fuck.
mean, I've been in Hollywood long enough to know how to pronounce certain people's names.
Oh, you-
So
You're in Hollywood?
How do you pronounce Killian Murphy?
that's what I just. Killian Murphy. That's how you say it.
It's not Cillian Murphy or
No,
Cillian
Billy.
Murphy?
It's Killian Murphy. Get it straight.
How do you pronounce psoriasis Ronan?
It's Charisse Ronan.
Psoriasis?
It's
Okay,
Charisse
so
Ronan.
guys,
Anyway,
my name
Charisse Ronan,
is
if you're watching this, we
K.E.
apologize if my other colleagues are butchering your name.
K-E-A-R-N-S. That is Kearns, not Kearns. Also, there's an A. I'm really tired when people they try
Malcolm,
to shit
thanks for
talk
changing
me
the name of this
in
tape.
live chats. They try to shit talk me in live chats, and they always leave out the A. Okay. Now look, Malcolm, get rid of this just to show because I always write my name. I have to fucking do this. I have to write my name. See that Kearns. That is
Where's
that
that
is
Tom
Irish.
Cruise logo we
I
had
am
on the marquee?
Irish. I am Irish. Shillelagh. I'm Irish. It's a good old Irish name. And there is an A after the E. If you're gonna shit talk me on panels, make sure you fucking spell my name correctly, okay? Or I will call you out, and I've done it before, and I'll continue to do it.
So, Malcolm, you want to wrap this thing up or what?
You're gonna shit talk me. I'm available at Mr. Billy Belford on Twitter anytime, anywhere, any other thing.
Oh, okay.
Nick Nolte's good. I don't know who's up
I
against that
saw
year.
Warrior finally, and I think the movie's fine for what it is, but I don't think it's one of the goats.
I mean,
Basil, let's just end the show.
I mean, 2011 was dead.
I know
Oh,
Billy
fuck.
doesn't believe me. Okay, great. See, I just alienated half your audience, Malcolm. I apologize.
I mean, that year was
I
stacked
will-
with
you know what?
performances. So, yeah.
Future.
But yeah, we have
It's like,
reached the end. But as always, I do like to end with 6 Degrees of Kevin Bacon.
fucking
so-
course you do. All right.
I thought we were going to talk about Willie, or not. Oh God, not. Oh, what am I saying? I thought we were going to talk about Billy leaving the room just now. Never mind.
No, it's fine. You just
Pronounce
destroyed
Billy?
I know. I'm sorry.
motherfucker.
Yeah.
Um, so,
sorry if I
how-
offended you there, Billy.
How 6 Degrees of Kevin Bacon works here is I will say the name of an actor who was in a movie with another actor. And then Malcolm will have to say that actor was in a movie with another actor. For example, I would say that Tom Cruise was in A Few Good Men with Jack Nicholson, and then Malcolm will have to say Jack Nicholson was in Anger Management with Adam Sandler, and so on and so on. How Kevin Bacon works into it is if you are somehow able to relate Kevin Bacon to a movie, you get a lifeline, which pretty much means if at any point you would have lost and been out of the game, you aren't. Now, that does not count if you start off. So if you start off with Tom Cruise was in A Few Good Men with Kevin Bacon, doesn't count. But if you're able to, if someone's able to say Jack Nicholson was in, he was only A Few Good Men. I don't know. Regardless, if you're able to get around to Kevin Bacon, you get the lifeline. Now, franchise rule is in effect. What that means is if you were to say Liam Neeson was in The Phantom Menace with Natalie Portman, no more Star Wars movies can be played. However, for whatever reason, I don't even remember. Can we just get rid of the Marvel rule? Like, I don't know why we play fucking favorites. You know what? Fuck it. Marvel rule no longer in effect. So if you say that Robert Downey Jr. was in Iron Man 2 with Jon Favreau, fuck it. No more Marvel movies. No Captain Americas, no Avengers. I'm tired of playing favorites because people got mad at me originally because there's like 47,000 of those movies, all right? So fuck it. That's done now. So let's play the game, motherfuckers.
But yeah, the order is going to be I will start Billy, then Ryan, then Kearns, and yeah, and let's see if we can do another episode, another game in which people miss obvious things to Kevin Bacon like last week. I lost count, but it happened at least twice that I can remember.
Things happened.
But yeah,
We lost a bunch of viewers.
How many
Great.
viewers do we have left? 2.5, maybe
3.
3?
2,
Oh.
I think.
Oh,
3?
2.
Whatever.
Okay.
You know what? We don't need no stinking viewers.
Well, I
we
mean,
appre-
we've
but
done
we
this show and we've
appreciate
had
the
no
viewership.
viewers.
I mean, to
Oh,
be
yes,
fair,
I appreciate all the
I mean,
viewers,
yeah, exactly. But yeah, I'm going to start with Viggo Mortensen was in Lord of the Rings: Return of the King with Liv Tyler.
Okay.
Lord of the Rings all the time.
Liv Tyler was in Armageddon with Bruce Willis.
His best role.
Oh my God.
What? Harry Stanford is Bruce, or at least it's my favorite role of his.
Okay.
Okay,
You
Be
can
your favorite.
be-
That's fine.
you can be in that minority.
Oh, Die Hard. All day.
Die Hard.
100 times
Um,
better than
but-
anything else has done.
Random as fuck.
I'm sorry, I'm swapping. Die Hard is better than.
But anyway,
Ryan, you
Ryan.
now have to close.
You know what?
Oh God.
I will.
Let me ask you something. What was the last thing that someone said?
Liv Tyler was
Bruce
in
Willis.
Armageddon with Bruce Willis.
Oh, Liv Tyler was in a movie with Bruce Willis. Excuse me. Okay.
Not
Bruce
in
Willis,
a movie. the
Thank you.
movie.
which was Armageddon, was not his best performance, but Bruce Willis was once in a movie. I'm not sure if anyone's ever heard of this movie. Bruce Willis was in a movie with Samuel L. Jackson called Die Hard with a Vengeance, and it's
Never
awesome.
heard of it.
Yeah, no. Well, I'm sorry.
Well, that's sad because Die Hard with a Vengeance is my favorite Die Hard movie.
Oh,
it's
well,
the best
this
Die
is
Hard movie.
perfect. Thank you.
It
Thank
is.
you
It
for
is the best Die
setting
Hard
me up
movie.
for this. Thank you for setting me up for this because Samuel Jackson was in The Hateful Eight with Kurt Russell.
Darn it. Tarantino. What does he know? What does he know about filmmaking?
Where
Sorry,
the fuck
Quentin.
did that come from?
I know. I'm just shooting off random comments to get myself in
Oh,
trouble
okay.
with Hollywood again.
Fair enough. Is that why you got kicked out of Hollywood? You
Yeah,
used to
once.
there?
Hey, it was only
Kicked
one
out?
time, and it was during a premiere of a certain movie that we will not go into details about.
This is the story of Jersey Girl.
But
Maybe.
anyway,
No disrespecting
Maybe.
Affleck right here. All right. No
but
disrespect.
anyway, Kurt Russell was in Guardians of the Galaxy 2 with Palm Clementif.
Oh, you fucking.
Oh,
you're a-
you
You're an
had to bring that movie
asshole,
up. You had to bring up Guardians of the Galaxy.
too.
Part
What
two.
the fuck
Yeah,
else has Palm Clementif been in?
nothing.
But she has been in other things that not MCU.
Oh, really? Like what?
It's one of those ones. Yeah, I know she's been in something else last year. So
Oh, last year. Okay.
All right, I'm out. I don't know anything else she's been in. So
she played Lexus in Uncut Gems. And she was also in Adam's Family.
Well, all
But
right.
yeah, unfortunately, you couldn't say she's going to be in Mission Impossible 7 with Tom Cruise. So-
That's
Yeah,
not
we
gonna
don't
happen.
play the hypothetical game here.
but
so.
but Ryan, you get to start fresh.
Oh, really? I can just say whatever? Great, because that last one just nearly killed me.
And Garth, I started with Return of the King.
Even though Fellowship is
Oh,
better.
so now,
okay.
well, Two Towers is better.
Eh,
My
so
out-
now,
but okay.
just on the offhand chance, no one knows. I know Billy hasn't played this game a ton. Now, well, sadly, it doesn't matter that you're not here. But now everything is reset, so all the movies and actors we used, you can repeat them all you want.
Yeah.
I think I always leave out. I think I always leave out that you're not able to repeat an actor. I feel like that's just like an understood thing, but I
Yeah.
should probably start saying that when I talk about the rules. No one's done it, but I feel like people might do it.
am I out?
Yeah, you're out.
Okay, I gotta go, guys. I'm gonna
Have a good night,
See you
Billy. Thanks
guys.
for being with
Have
us.
a good night.
Later.
Thank you, sir.
Before
follow
you
me on
go,
Twitter at Mr. Billy Belford. There you go.
There you go. There's his
See you
fucking
guys.
plug.
Have a good one, man.
All right. Bye-bye.
Thank you,
I'm
Billy.
gonna go watch Warrior again.
Really? I got to go watch Top Gun again.
All right. So
Anyway.
now I guess the order is Ryan, me, Malcolm, Ryan.
yeah,
Okay. All right. One more round, and then some of us are getting too old for this, and we got to go to sleep. So, with that being said, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I'm going to say Harrison Ford was in a movie with Karen Allen, and it's called Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Okay. Ooh. Karen Allen. Well, obviously, Karen Allen was in Scrooged with Bill Murray, the only great Christmas Carol film that exists.
Wow, fun fact. I did not know she was in that.
What? Yeah.
Because I've never seen Scrooged.
You should see Scrooged. It's great. Sorry. Continue. Mark.
Bill Murray was in Zombieland Double Tap with Emma Stone.
Oh, so they did bring him back from the dead. Okay.
It was in a post-credit scene, but
Oh, you
regardless.
just ruined the movie for me. Thanks.
Wow, Malcolm, you. Wow.
I haven't seen Zombieland 2
Well,
yet, so thanks.
spoilers.
Um,
No, Malcolm, you spoiled the milk, Malcolm. Milk. You spoiled the milk. There's nothing else. It's like milk. You spoiled the milk. You can
I
put all the
didn't-
sugar you want. The milk's spoiled. Okay?
I didn't actually ruin anything. You'll find out when you see the movie.
Okay.
But yeah.
I still
What?
plan on seeing Zombieland Double Tap at some point, so.
You piece of shit. Also, I'm not sure. I think that was one of Vinny's like cousins or something, because that
Yeah.
wasn't quite Vinny. It was, I don't know, he was motherfucking Randall, New York. Eh? I'm from that state, so I'm able to make those impressions. It's not
Nice.
that probably is.
Who's next?
You are, because You got Emma Stone to
Yeah.
lead off with.
Oh, jeez. Okay, I'm like, wait a minute. I thought we were going around the horn.
No,
again. Sorry.
because so you remember you did Harrison Ford was in Raiders of the Lost Ark with Karen Allen, and then
Yeah.
I think Karen Allen was in Scrooge with Bill
Yeah.
Murray, and
I read
so,
Bullman was in Zombie Lab Double Tap
Yeah.
Emma Stone.
Emma Stone, and
Oh,
now
with
it's
Emma
back
Stone.
to
Okay,
you.
all right. Cool, awesome. I think Emma Stone's been in a couple of movies. I think she has. Yeah.
Probably.
So my good friend Emma Stone was in a movie with Thomas Hayden Church, and it's called Easy A.
Oh, Thomas Hayden Church. Thomas
that
Hayden
actor.
Church was in Heaven is for Real with Greg Kinnear.
Wow. I was not aware of that.
Which actually, by the way, wasn't that bad of a movie. But
By
I
the
like
way-
Thomas Hayden Church and Greg Kinnear, so that's probably why.
By
I
the
was
way,
more
Kearns,
apt to like it.
I'm surprised you didn't say Thomas Hayden Church in Spider-Man 3.
That's the easy one. That's the easy
Yeah.
go-to for Tom. I want to let people know that Thomas Hayden Church. There is another one that I probably should have went with that I think Malcolm likes those films as well.
Oh, those films, yeah.
Yeah, Daddy's Home. Well, he was in the first one. He wasn't in the
I
second one.
might need someone to fact this, but Greg Kinnear was in Anchorman 2 with Will Ferrell.
Oh, darn it.
I'm gonna look it up.
Do you
I'm gonna
Do you want to
look up
confirm that, or do we want to?
Yeah, I'm looking up. Greg.
Because I'm pretty sure he
Because I
played.
know he was in. I know he was in that other movie, but Greg Kinnear.
Let me
was in
see. Oh no, he is. No, he's. I didn't even need to look it up. No, I did, and he is in it because he plays Veronica's like second lover. He plays the therapist.
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
no, yeah, he's in it. He's in Anchorman too. Yeah, he plays the therapist that she ever gets married to, or she dates after she breaks up with Ron.
That's a good point.
Yeah, that was a good poll, Malcolm. That was a good poll.
That
Greg
was a good
Kinnear's
poll.
great.
See,
I love Greg Kinnear. He's
and-
fucking great.
and Greg Kinnear was in a movie with Matt Damon.
No.
You've got Will Ferrell.
No, Will Ferrell.
What do you mean
Yeah,
I got Will Ferrell? I thought you said Greg Kinnear.
No, I
yeah.
said Greg Kinnear because
Oh,
you said
jeez.
Thomas Hayden Church and I said Greg Kinnear, and then he said Greg Kinnear was in
Oh.
Anchorman 2 with Will Ferrell. So now
Oh,
you have
jeez.
Will Ferrell. So you cannot do Stuck on You. I'm sorry.
That's unfortunate. Never mind. That movie's not that good anyway. Will Ferrell was in a movie called Wedding Crashers with Vince Vaughn.
Vince Vaughn was in The Watch with Ben Stiller.
Ben Stiller was in. Ben Stiller was in.
He's trying to think of a random ass actor to knock you out.
Okay, thanks.
No, I'm not actually. I'm just trying to play in my head if he was in that.
Oh,
Fuck it, I'm just going to do this. Ben Stiller was in Tropic Thunder with Tom Cruise.
Yeah, there you go.
oh, well, yeah. That's all. That solves the problem there. And what's his name? Tom something. Tom Cruise. What's his name? Cruise something. Oh yeah, Tom Cruise was in Collateral with Jamie Foxx.
Well, you missed it. You could have said Tom Cruise was in A Few Good Men with Kevin Bacon.
And your winner.
Good
All
work.
right, thanks for
But
playing,
Jamie
guys.
Foxx
This was a great
is
game.
mine. Jamie Foxx was in The Amazing Spider-Man 2 with Andrew Garfield.
Which is one of the worst comic book movies ever made.
Andrew Garfield was in.
Facts.
Fuck, what the hell has Andrew Garfield been in?
I mean, there's a biggie and then there's two biggies and then a few smallies.
That's true. That's a good point.
Andrew Garfield was in Under the Silver Lake with Tobey Maguire. I don't know.
Wasn't that movie just an urban legend? I thought it never happened.
It came out.
Okay. I don't think
seen it.
anyone saw it though.
But I'm pretty sure he's not. Tobey Maguire's not in it though.
Tobey Maguire's all right. Tobey Maguire's in Spider-Man with Kirsten Dunst.
Oh fuck! No, Well, what I was about to say, I mean, you can start afresh if you want to.
Oh, well, then in that case, Tom Cruise was in A Few Good Men with Kevin Bacon. And your winner! There you go. Game over.
But
That's it.
Yeah,
Thanks for joining us, folks.
Matt is actually frozen by the looks of it.
Yes. So, Malcolm,
because he would have told you that you couldn't actually do that.
Oh,
But anyway, that does
Fine.
bring us to the end of this. Ryan, is there anything you want to promote?
Sure, Malcolm. There's a whole lot of stuff I want. Oh, and he just left the show. Sorry, Kearns. We broke your cardinal rule of just getting it right on the first round. Anyway, my name is Ryan of Nerd Culture. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at RyanRPM5. Check me out on Letterboxd at letterboxd.com/RyanMovieBuff. You can find all my lists of movies there. Check out my podcast. It's called The Nerdcast. It's available to download on Anchor, Google, Spotify, wherever you download your podcast. You can find me there. Also, check out our YouTube channel, Nerd Culture, on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at It's Nerd Culture. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, do all that stuff for our YouTube channel. We appreciate you, and I hope to come back and be on the show again next time.
And you can find me.
And we're gonna hit pause.
You can find me on Take 3 Productions, hosting Late Night Take 3. Next week's topic, I'll pick something. I haven't decided what I'll do yet. But you can also find me tomorrow hosting Rankum, and we're ranking Hanna-Barbera characters. So it should be a lot of fun. And you can also find me over on Full Metal hosting Formula Classic. It is going to be also tomorrow for a change. And you can also find me hosting Formula Random on Tuesdays. This week is going to be Premier League. Matt, is anything you want to promote?
You guys, as always, can find me at Kearns_Matthew on Twitter, Matt Movies 611 on YouTube, which, by the way, guys, I checked earlier this week. I hit 461 subscribers on YouTube. I feel like a lot of that has to come from plugging here. So if you're someone who's watching this who subscribed to my own personal YouTube channel, thank you very much. I have a video that will be dropping tomorrow, so long as editing and everything works out, which is going to be a video covering my favorite film of all time, Empire Strikes Back, in honor of its 40th anniversary. I didn't quite get done for it yesterday, but it will be coming tomorrow. I'm also going to be starting very soon a episode-by-episode review of one of my favorite TV series, Timeless. And you can also find me right here as host of Second Look. Episode on Rocky 3 is in the works and will be coming soon. Yeah.
But yeah. Until next time.
Show me the money!
Yeah, I'll finish it there. That's a good way to end
Malcolm,
it.
you complete me.
I feel the need to get out of here.
Speed. High five that. You could be my wingman.